Today is lesson 9-6, solving systems by graphing. We're going to use what we learned in the last lesson to help us solve systems in this lesson. And you don't know what a system is yet, but we're going to find out. Before we start, let's just have a quick refresher about what we talked about in lesson 9-5. So the first question I have is, what is the equation for slope-intercept form? What equation meaning what format should it be in? So the format it should be in is this. Okay, remember it can be plus b or minus b. This is called slope-intercept form. And then below here, I have what is the slope and what's the y-intercept. So in here it says y equals 2x minus 4. In your head, I want you to think what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. So the slope is here, and usually if it's a whole number, I can put a 1 underneath. This tells me the rise, and this tells me the run. And this right here is the y-intercept, meaning where it's going to go over the y-axis. So we have to know these things today to be able to solve what we're doing. Two definitions I have for you: a system of linear equations, and it's when two linear equations are considered together. So in all of our problems today, we're going to have two sets of equations. And solution for the system is an ordered pair that can solve both equations. And I'll explain what that means in a second. So system is when two equations are together, so they're kind of like buddies. And the solution is an ordered pair. So remember, an ordered pair looks like this. So all your answers today are going to look something like this. And this ordered pair can solve both equations in the system. So how is this going to work? So first of all, what types of answers are we going to have? So the first type of answer that you're going to have are called intersecting lines. So what's going to happen is we're going to take two equations and we're going to graph them on the same graph. And those lines are either going to be intersecting, which means they might meet. Those two lines might be parallel, which means there's no solution. Or they might be the same line, and that means there's many solutions that can go into our system. So these are the three types of answers you'll see. So when you graph two equations on one graph, they will either intersect, they will either be parallel, or they will be the same line. All right, so this is the first type of problem that you'll see. So notice my system is over here. So in my system, I have two equations. I have the first one and I have the second one. And I'm going to use some color coding today so you can kind of see how this works. I'm going to move this just a little bit. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue marker and I'm going to graph this on my graph. So this is y equals x minus 1. So I'm going to say, okay, where am I going to go on my y-axis? And I'm going to go to -1 on my y-axis. We're going to pretend there's numbers on it, and we're going to pretend it goes by ones. Then I know from there I have to look at my slope, and it's up 1 over 1. So I'm just going to do a few dots, and I'm going to draw a line. Now today, everybody has to use a ruler, because if you don't use a ruler, you might not get the correct answer. All right, so that's my first line. My second line I'm going to do in red, and it's 1, so I'm going to start at my 1. And then from there, I'm going to do my slope, and it's up 1 over 3. So from my red dot, it's up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. So this would technically be two intersecting lines, and the place they intersect is right here. So the points there, now we have to find the ordered pairs of it. Now remember, when you find ordered pairs, you go this way first and then up. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and 2. So the answer to this would be 3, 2. This means that if I put 3 in for the both of the x's, both of my answers will be 2. So it's a way to solve two equations and to make them equal the same thing. So the answer for this would be 3, 2. Okay, so let's try another one. I have y equals x plus 3 and y equals 4x plus 3. I can already tell without graphing this where it's going to cross. Now let me show you. I'll do this in green. So this one is 3, and then my slope is up 1 over 1. Okay, so there's my, and then my other one I'm going to do in red. And then up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. So I can already tell by the y-intercept, because look at my y-intercepts are the same. So then I say to myself, okay, if they intersect here, what is my ordered pair? So remember, I go this way first and then up. Well, I didn't go this way, so it'd be 0, and my y would be 3. So this would be my answer because this is the ordered pair for this dot. And it means that if I would put 0 in for both of my x's, both of my answers for y would be 3. Okay, let's do one more, and I will let you do the next one by yourself so you can see how it works. So let's see, the first one I'll do in red. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's a negative x, so we talked about going down and over because it's a negative line. So it's going to look something like this. Actually, that was not good. I'm going to redo that. There we go. That's a little better. That's why it's important to have a straight line. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do in green. Notice this looks a little crazy. I don't have much going on here, but I have a slope. And if I don't have anything in my y, I can assume it's 0. Okay, so this is just telling me that I start at my 0 and it's up 1 over 1. So I'm going to start here. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. I can see a spot where I already cross. And I cross right here. So my point, I'm going to go over 2 and up 2. So it'll be 2, 2. And again, I'm just going to remind you which it means. It means that if I put in 2 for my x, I'm going to get this for my y. Okay, I want you to try one yourself. Go ahead and try this one yourself. See if they meet, see if they don't meet, see if they have an answer. Maybe they'll be an intercept, or maybe they'll be parallel lines, maybe they'll be one line. So go ahead, and then I will start in just a little bit. So I'm going to do this in red. So 1, y-intercept, and then up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So it looks somewhat like this. And then 4, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do this one in green. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's going to look something like this. Okay, and I see us up here is where I'm meeting. So it's important to have straight lines. It's hard for me to do that on the smartboard. So I go over 1, and then up 1, 2, 3. So 1, 3 would be my answer for my order pairs, meaning if I put 1 in for my x's and solve it, both of them should get 3 for a y. There might be times on your coordinate plane that you, let's say you graph, I'll do one right now. So let's find, I'm just going to move him away. So I'm going to make a new system. I'm going to say y equals 1/3 x plus 2. And I'm going to say y equals 1/3 x minus 1. Okay, so let's graph both of these quick, and I'm going to show you an example of like a different type of answer. So I'm going to do this one in blue. So this would be 2, and then up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. So my line's going to look like this for my first one. And I'll do this one in green. I'm going to start at -1, and then it's up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3. Okay, this is an example of 2 parallel lines. That means that there are no solutions for it. So there's no order pair. There's nothing I can put in for both of these that will give me the same number for y. And there could be sometimes where you have the same line, just kind of depending on what your solution looks, or what your system looks like. Sometimes you might graph a line. Let's say this is my line. And you might end up having the same line from your second, and then that would be infinite. That means there are many answers that can be put in for your x, and that will give you the same answer for y. So if you have any questions, let me know. Actually, it's one of the funner lessons because once you get the hang of graphing a line, it's pretty easy to figure out how to complete this lesson. So if you have any questions, let me know, but let's plan on using a ruler for all of our homework today because we need to have straight lines, and that'll help us determine where our points are that our answers are at. So if you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate you watching till the end, and I'll see you in class.